The greatest of pains is the pain of not existing. The year is 1932. Some 30 million Americans have lost their income as a result of the Great Depression. A quarter of all Washington residents were unemployed. Life has never been so hopeless. For Washington residents of all backgrounds who lost jobs, every second of being alive was an existential pain. With no unemployment insurance and typically with only one breadwinner, the loss of wages had an immediate effect on families, often leading to eviction and homelessness. People squeezed in with their relatives when possible, or begged landlords to stay on rent-free. Wives and teenagers joined the unemployed husband in a desperate search for work. Minimal help with food or rent was sometimes available from church, and in some counties, government raised property taxes in an attempt to feed the hungry. The long-lasting impact of such a great existential pain will always be a part of American culture, forever. You just don't get over such a big mess. Sudden poverty produces psychological damage. Many families broke apart until the emotional pain, and most never fully recovered. The trauma is stuck with people and continues to torture the culture deeply. Divorce escalated, as did informal divorces as one partner or another abandoned their family. Developing escapism and dissociation were some of the most significant changes to the shared psyche of the American society at this time. Escapism became a new coping mechanism. Life was just too sad, too dark for most to face. Anything that would numb the pain was welcome over being in such pain. Escapism, by definition, is the act of escaping emotional distress rather than dealing with them. Escapism can take on many forms, but its fundamentals are the same across the board: forgetting about life's problems rather than facing them. Escapists escape to an imaginary world. Such an imaginary world does not share the same problems that the real world does, and therefore it appeals to many. It might sound like the best coping mechanism there is at first glance. After all, what could be better than to be ignorant to all your problems? Isn't it true that ignorance is bliss? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. Human psyche, which is a product of the human brain, is one of the most complex concepts in the whole universe. Many spend all their lives trying to make sense of it, and most fail, to be honest. In terms of understanding why escapism is a big problem, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Escapists never solve their problem, they rather run from it. This turning away, which to some might feel like free falling or floating on a space, only creates more problems. Escapism leads to more escapism, and isolation from others. Remember the phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, escapism leads to a lack of true social interactions. Even if you're physically present around others, over time, escapism makes your mind numb to the whole thing. You will start to fake your way through life. Escapism in the long term leads to dissociation, which can blind your eyes to the truth that is in front of you. Think about all the addicts that escape from reality with substance abuse. Most could never face the truth. And the problem is not only limited to only hard drugs. Even more accepted substances, such as marijuana and alcohol, can lead to the same problem, maybe at an even faster rate due to their easy accessibility. If you smoke weed every day, chances are you're escaping from something. You are the one that has to figure out what it is. Whatever it is so deeply disturbing that you could not face them sober. This is not to blame the substances or to say that we should demonize them again. I'm rather suggesting moderation. There is one even more important question that you have to ask yourself. Are you using this substance to escape from being sober? The answer is not the same for everybody, but it's important for you to know the answer in your case. For most, it requires some sober time to be able to see how bad the situation is. Escapism leads to a loss of control on what's real and what's imagination, which in turn can cause serious dissociations. It can interfere with daily life and drain life from its meaning. In turn, for life to have any meaning, first you must exist. You must truly go about your days and live life in terms to find its meaning. Escaping from existence not only drains life from its meaning, it also kills your soul over time. TV, radio, magazines are all forms of most commonly accepted escapism. This is seen in the history of humanity as well. Whenever there has been a mass depressive period, music and art grow the most. This shows our natural tendency as humans to escape to art, music, radio, drugs, or whatever helps us forget about our problems. Sigmund Freud, the father of modern psychology, once said, "People cannot survive with the little satisfaction they can steal from reality," showing us that he also believes that the desire of escape is a part of our human condition. Another related topic to this matter is existentialism. Nietzsche, famous German philosopher, poet, and existentialist, reminds us in the title Worldly Wisdom that the real wisdom is earthly, not abstract, rather something to be found here on earth, in our embodied physical selves. He suggests that us, as living beings, should not seek to escape in the comfort of imagination. Now, you might think that doesn't sound too existentialist, does it? In terms to understand why someone like Nietzsche, who also believes suicide is a fundamental comfort for humans, would recommend such a way of life, we need to understand existentialism a bit better. To truly understand what existentialism is, you will need to study it for years. Many base their whole career on understanding such philosophical topics. However, as most things go in philosophy, although the limit for how deep you can study the topic is almost non-existent, there is always some simple basic idea that gives rise to said topic. The simple core idea of existentialism is trying to make sense of those moments when you question whether life has meaning or not. Such moments, also known as existential dread, are the basis for all existentialism. Some key existential concepts are absurdity, anxiety, and alienation. Now, with our basic understanding of existentialism, let's try to understand escapism. Existentialism states that existence is a meaningless constant pain. Some existentialists also believe death is a meaningless constant pain as well. To be or not to be. They are both pain, many existentialists believe. So what can one do? Well, there is no escape from this pain, existentialists believe. It is important to remember the phrase, there is no escape. That's the core idea of this whole video. We might think that we can escape our problems, at least for a temporary period of time, in our meaningless existence. However, experience has shown time after time that this is not the case after all. The more time we spend to escape, the less time we will have to reflect on what is happening to us and how we feel about it. We need to be aware that running constantly will not leave the fears behind. It will only exaggerate them, because there is no place in the world where you can run away from yourself. A study conducted at the University of Leiden warns us that people who constantly avoid dealing with their intense emotional experiences have greater feelings of anxiety and emotional distress over time. While we continue to avoid the problems, the stress will remain, and this will lead us to want to avoid a reality that is increasingly threatening, enclosing ourselves in a vicious state. At this point in the video, you might be feeling a little bit down. What's the purpose of making a video if all I'm stating is that our existence is pain? Well, I believe there is a solution, and that is to face the problems head on. In my research of making of this video, I found 3 questions and 1 extra that I came up with that promise to help you regain control of your life and face your problems. The first step for breaking the escapist loop is to recognize and accept that we are escaping. To do this, it is enough to answer ourselves 1 question, honestly. What are we doing that is helping us solve our problems? This step is our fundamental starting point of changing one's life. You could never face your problems if you do not know what you are doing to help solve them. The second step is to detect exactly what we are escaping from. What problem overwhelms us so much? To do this, you can ask yourself a simple question. What is bothering, scaring, or worrying you so much? This step is meant to help you realize the fundamental fear that's been haunting your psyche for so long. And the third step is to find a solution that allows us to solve what concerns us. It will help us to ask ourselves, what do I want my life to be like? And then we must get to work to make that happen. This is a crucial step in your journey to face your problems and fix your life. This is where you have already recognized that you have a problem, and you know what that problem is, and you're finding a solution for it. And you need to act upon such solution. And the fourth and often forgotten step in this journey is action. You need to act upon the solution you have found and make that a reality. Otherwise, it doesn't have any meaning. It is only then you can say you have fixed your problem. With that said, I want to wrap up this video. I myself have been dealing with some philosophical and psychological troubles recently. That's why it took me such a long time to make this video. This video is my reflection upon months of escaping from my problems. And today, I'm trying to face them, and making this video is one such way that I'm going about this. This is a small growing channel, and your help is necessary for its growth. I wish I could be giving this message to a larger audience, and you are the one that could make that possible for me. Most of my views come from Reddit. I want to ask you guys, if you enjoyed this video and learned something useful, please like, subscribe and ring the bell. That is a free favor you can do to help me grow this channel and make more videos on philosophy and psychology. Share this video with a friend and hopefully soon we'll be reaching a much larger audience. Also check out my psychology playlist, where I gather all of my videos on psychology. If you like this video, you probably like the other videos in that playlist as well. So much for watching this far into the video. From now on, I will try to upload more videos more often. And I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully very soon. Until then, peace out.